play the tournament, whatever obstacles the team has faced, it has always come out on a winning note. So, what is the magic behind CSK always coming out good?
Look, I think we dealt with a lot of adversity really calmly, and that comes from leadership. So whilst I will admit moving from Chennai had quite an impact given we sat at the auction table picking a team to play in Chennai conditions, we had to scramble through the year to try and find a combination. We made more changes to the team than what we usually would, just because we all of a sudden had to become a seaming-based side with a little bit of spin, and that's quite a big turnaround when you place your strategy to be a slow team with good players who play spin. So I'm really proud of the way we adopted to that. I'm proud of the way that different individuals stood up at key times. I think we've talked about that through the tournament. I'm really proud of the way experienced players showed their value, and not in a smart way, but just in a way that sort of validated our faith in them. None finer than the innings from Watson today, because we just believed that experience for us coming back into the competition was going to be a key component. There's a lot of emotion in the franchise because of what had happened, and a lot of desire, and the best people to deal with that expectation are players who have experienced it before. So that was a lot of our reasoning behind this year's team. We got some criticism for it, but we believe that was our best chance of winning.
Someone like Shane Watson bats like that, it becomes really easy. Things become really easy for the team, and he's at his best.
Yeah, it was a good struggle, wasn't it? The opening spell was, I thought, from outstanding from Sunrisers, so he might have been none of 10 balls. So it was a real battle for our first 4 or 5 overs. It was a great final in that sense. But once Shane found a little bit of range and a bit of rhythm, the boundaries aren't that big for the power hitters like Watson and Braithwaite and Dhoni. So he kept patience again, that word experience. He didn't give it away. He knew that his power game would get him out of trouble, and it did in a spectacular fashion. And it's his second 100 of the tournament. He's got over 500 runs. He's been a star performer for us.
Yeah. Chasing 178, did you expect such a comprehensive?
No, I thought it was just below par score. I thought even a couple of runs, 180, they could have got 190, 200, but the 2 death overs towards the end were really momentum shifters for us. We were really happy. It's been an area that's been expensive for us, so to have Lungi and Shardul have 2 overs go for sort of 9s was a great result. So anything under 180 was, given what it could have been, we felt pretty happy with.
Yeah.
Although the Siddharth Cole 2 overs by Siddharth Cole changed the momentum, but not giving any wickets to someone like Rashid Khan or Rashid Khan, how much that made a difference?
Well, it was a little bit of luck with Bhuvaneshwar. Bowled well, he went past the bat, but Rashid Khan was a definite plan. We've actually played him quite well, bar the last outing. We've been more positive in the past because we've had to set scores and chase, but we're afforded the luxury through Shane's hitting of being more conservative, even playing out a maiden. At that point in time, we'd nullified really his impact, and that was a key focus for our tactics to win the final. So we did that well.
Yeah.
Coming back after 2 years, was there extra motivation this time to find that? What were your preparations?
Yeah, I don't think there's extra motivation. I don't. If you weighed up every team, the expectation of winning would be high. There was emotion involved, just around wanting to do well and get back into the competition. It was a difficult 2 years for the franchise. There's no doubt about it. So the desire to get back and do well in the competition was high. But the players are always motivated, and it was just a case of harnessing that emotion and making sure our performances and the team itself was sustainable to keep winning throughout. It's a tough competition. I think it's the toughest year that's been, just because teams are getting smarter with who they pick. The auctions are more competitive, and there's a much better grasp on what franchises want with a player. So this was a tough one. And again, we valued experience for consistency, guys that could repetitively do it, not just one-offs, because we've found that those guys that get on a roll, the Raidus, the Watsons, the Dhonis, Rainers, they take you deep in the tournament. Good enough to win? Well, who knows? It's on the day. But today, thankfully, it was ours.
Stephen, coming back to Shane Watson, last season when he played for RCB, he didn't have a great season.
Yeah.
And he almost spoke of retirement from the team. Keep him and get him to play in this manner, like
Well, I hope a lot. Sometimes if you look at his season with RCB, he was in and out, and he also batted 4. So I look at that just around where I think players' skill sets are made. I also watched him closely during the Big Bash, and there were signs there that he was in good form. Certainly every team that I have come up against him, he seems to be in good form, so the best way to get rid of him is to buy him. I had no doubt that he was going to make an impact. Fitness was an issue because it's a long tournament, but he's more professional than even I thought, and he's a bit broken now, but he's played every game. Bowling, thankfully, we didn't have to use that much, and he's got through with one of probably his greatest performances.